right. So we got A Quiet Place 2 coming at you. And so, yeah, this is the first movie I seen in the theater since Bloodshot and Birds of Prey right before the pandemic hit. I was in the theater that week and then boom, pandemic. So this was cool. I saw an early one, so it was a lot of people. I had space between me and everything. And it was fun. I also got to win this thing sometime in the week about some contest or whatever. So I actually also got to see a double feature where I got to see a special showing of Godzilla vs. Kong in a big IMAX kind of situation too. And it was only like 30 of us and we were all spread out. So that was really, really cool too. So I got to actually experience that movie in IMAX. But A Quiet Place 2. John Krasinski written and directed this one again. And it's honestly a very continuation right off the first one. Like a, hey, boom, right there, moving forward. The family's on the move. And now what happens in this particular movie, which I thought was interesting, as usually most survival things do, if you have a survival type of horror, everybody does the Scooby-Doo mistake and separates. So Millie Simmons, she has a quest that she goes on to deal with something that she's doing. I'm going to try to keep this very light spoiler, so it might be a little bit just to get you a heads up. That's the daughter. The brother is actually dealing with a situation where he is now put into a special kind of situation of dealing with something, and the mom has to deal with something as well. And there's even the baby, and the baby also is there and works very, very well. Now, like I said, this has the same good vibes from part one. It follows the same kind of feel, the same kind of flow, that creepy story, the quiet place and the whole nine. I thought that was great. It still has the same tension, the same tone, the same situation as a whole, and you can't beat that. Especially if you enjoyed the first one, because if you enjoyed the first one, you enjoy this one. And it is cool because when you see them walking and dealing and stuff like that, you do see another person actually has shoes on. But it's like, okay, I didn't know if people didn't wear shoes for a reason, but shoes can make noise, or you may not be able to feel the ground under your feet with shoes on. So it's easier to break or step something where if you feel it with your bare foot, you might stop and be like, ooh, and then go back. Where your shoe, you don't know, and click, and then actually know you're in trouble. So there's advantages and disadvantages to that. So when you see their feet, you're like, there's the sticks, those are leaves. And any of these little bits of noises could bring on the aliens. So that made it very, very intense in itself like that. Once again, super duper quiet theater. Loved it, enjoyed it. I love that feeling of that. And in this particular movie, you get to see day one. And you actually get to see a good amount of it. More than I actually expected it to be. And I liked it. So you got this feel of like a prequel sequel kind of situation. And I thought that was really good. It was about 10-15 minutes. And I think that was a perfect way to handle it. Just that 10 to 15 minutes. See some of the stuff that's going on. See how things kind of kicked off. How people reacted to it. And that to me was better than doing a prequel. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a prequel if they came out with a prequel, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you started here, do we need a prequel? But if they make another one, which, let's say they make a few of these or make another one or something, and they go back and show more of how they got to a certain point and how they kind of built up to that place, like how Arrow did it with their thing where the past started to catch up and eventually they collided. How they came up with some of the ideas and stuff, and maybe there was some foreshadowing with this. Something that seemed minuscule actually meant something later, and that was really cool. And I like the fact that she had to communicate with somebody that doesn't normally do it, Cillian Murphy, and actually had a different kind of interaction with him. And you also got to see how things are, and they still beautifully use sound as a wonderful mechanic, and I loved it. When they would focus on her, it was like, okay, she's dealing with this, but then you got to remember You need to hear what's around you, because all you need is one loud noise, one crazy thing, and alien coming. So I thought that was perfectly executed. Cillian Murphy talks about who's left is not worth saving. Um, that made me feel like a survival horror kind of thing. That's the usual. Walking Dead, Last of Us, like usually the people that are left are savages. Same thing with Silence. Like it's usually like, okay, the people that are left are not the best people to deal with this situation. And you also learn another new dynamic of something dealing with the alien species that was funny. I kind of, if I shot my Quiet Place 1 video when it first came out before I did YouTube, if I did YouTube from back then, I actually had this theory of talking with my friends about it, and now I do see that my theory was accurate and correct on what they could have done from what I seen of how their builds were and how the aliens were, where I was like, there's a thing that I don't think they can do. And then this movie confirmed that thing, and I want you to see it so you can see what I'm talking about. There's something that they can't do that actually could be a way to adjust, and I have an idea about that when I come to it. And in this particular movie, it definitely felt like the kids were in the forefront and they were doing something showing that, hey, these kids are survivors, these are this, and they may be able to be the next generation. I thought that was great. I liked how you got to see like Djimon Hounsou and like that situation and how some people are dealing with it, and how you got to see, technically you got to see 3 different types of people dealing with this, well, 4 different types of people dealing with this apocalypse. You got to see how the family deals with it, how Cillian Murphy and his situation deals with it, how the people who, I guess I would call them like scavengers, how they deal with it and how they live their life, as well as how some people have found things. And I thought that was great. Strong storytelling, very, very, very excellent acting. The movie really does follow. I like how they did it. One of the stories progresses the storyline as a whole, but one of the stories shows the willingness of a situation and kind of gets you to still understand how dangerous the world could be. And that was with the mom's story, like how that is. So I thought that was very cool, and what the brother had to deal with and how he had to like adjust. So I thought that was great. Now, there is some notes, and then I'll get to it. So John Krasinski apparently has an idea for a third one, and Emily Blunt did say something about he has an idea for a third film. And the way they left this, it's funny. I love how they leave these films. They leave it where you could just leave it there and then leave it to your own imagination, and you don't have to go any further, and it still would be a pretty decent ending. Or they can take it to another place and then take it one step further. And I think a third film would be great, and that would be fun, and I think we could get something out of it. There's also a thing talking about a spin-off, possibly. Now, they didn't say exactly what. There's just ideas floating. So, now, here's where my spoiler thing comes in. Now, before I get to the spoiler, I think the spin-off shouldn't be a movie. I mean, they could do a movie, but wouldn't it be cooler to see like a premium channel thing? I don't know who actually owns A Quiet Place. I'll find out and I'll throw it in there. But if it's one of those like Paramount Streaming or Universal or whoever, one of those studios, if they have a streaming thing, you know, a good 8 to 10 episode nice streaming show would be pretty cool. And you would see how maybe a different set of people deal with this, or how they are dealing, or how the world is. Kind of like a Walking Dead situation, where it's like, okay, what are they doing? Or after what's discovered in this movie, maybe they could do it in the aftermath or during of, hey, maybe it's this. Also, here's where the spoiler comes in. Nope, let me give you my rating first. I think that this is another I should buy. It feels like it goes right in line. Like literally you could put on A Quiet Place 1 and have the second one queued up, and it will go like this, straight to that. And it just feels like one long movie, and I think that's actually great, and I hope the third one does the same thing. So it feels like a continuously long movie with a continuously long journey. Now, here comes my spoiler part. You got that. Jump off the video right now. Tell me what you think in the comments before you go. Geek Protagonist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, The creatures what I told my friend was they didn't look like they could swim. The way the claws were, their body were built. I'm like, I don't think they're aquatic. Or they have aquatic capability. I've told a couple of my friends. And now this movie proves they don't have aquatic capabilities. What I would like to see is maybe something where they're dealing with being on like a boat or something, but they have to go inland to scavenge and to do stuff. And you could put them in situations, but it's like people are like, well, once we figured out they couldn't swim, we decided to go on my boat and we fish and stuff, but sometimes to get things and supplies we have to go inland and maybe have it where someone gets stuck going into the city and how they have to deal with that, and do some pretty cool stories. Maybe do a couple different family stories. Each season is you follow different people. I think that'd be cool. These people are in the ocean. These people are dealing with it. How are these people in the neighborhood? And that way also too, with each season, you don't know if these people make it or not. Maybe they don't make it. Maybe they do. And play it up like that. And I think you could get a good 5 seasons out of that of just pure, are they, we're dealing with the Johnson family. And here are the Richardsons. And here's the old couple. And here's the kids who are surviving. And the family and the 3 kids where the kids make it. And you could have it, and it's woven. There's a lot of potential you could do with this if you do it right and put the same kind of care you did in this film. So, like I said, I think it's a high should buy. Very strong on that. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see ya.